All right, welcome you guys. It's 7:59. We'll just give another couple minutes for people to log on. I am coming to you live this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. Let us know where you're watching from. Normally I'm live in the evening time, but I am going to be putting in a lot of miles today. I'm going to go up north for a real quick presentation for my son, and then head back down south, go right by my house, my exit, and then head to meet my oldest son for a pickup rendezvous with Finley. He is coming to stay with us for a couple days. Mom and dad both have to work, so we are helping out. Even though we live about, I don't know, 2.5 hours away, we're making it happen to help them out. So welcome to my Facebook or my YouTube live. All right, so I recently had an in-person class this week with a Parks and Rec agency. I teach monthly classes in person. I have been all but 3 months during COVID. And we are back in person once a month. It's usually the last Wednesday of the month, and it's sold out every single class. I can take 10, which is the maximum we're allowing right now. So it's really fun to get together and make cards with people. And so yeah, it's just really fun. This also is the cards I'm going to be making. A couple of them are from a recent class I offered. It was a Thinking of You sympathy card class. So I had a couple extra kits from Wednesday's in-person class that I wanted to make up, and I thought I would just show you guys the cards we made, and I'll make them together with you guys. So I see Sherry's watching from New Hampshire, right next door to me. Nice, in the tri-state, great. I mean, Twin State, sorry about that. I do a lot of hiking over there, Sherry. I'm attempting to hike all of the 4,000 footers in New Hampshire. So we started last year, me and my friend from high school. We usually would hike alone, which I don't have a problem with that, and she was hiking alone, I was hiking alone, and we both really wanted to hike some of the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and those are a little bit more challenging. So we decided to team up, and we are now, I think we've completed 7 or 8, can't quite remember the number, but once the trails dry up and get rid of all that snow and ice, we'll be attempting some more. So that's what I do usually in the late spring, summer months. On the weekend, I take a day and just go and hike. So it's been a lot of fun. All right, so I've got my coffee going. I haven't had it yet. What are you guys drinking this morning? Here's mine. I make my coffee with Keurig K-Cups, and I have honey in it and some fat-free half and half, just because my doctor, I got high cholesterol, and I think I get that from my mom. So I'm on a watch right now, and I get my blood work done again next at the end of May. So hopefully don't have to go on medication for that like my mom. But you know what? I'm probably gonna have to. But it's great to take care of your health. So I encourage you guys to all get your blood work done, because you just never know. All right, so I am offering, just do a little infomercial before we make some cards. I do have to be done hopefully by 9:15, just because I got to get out the door in a half an hour after that. But all right, so I've just offered, if you're on my email list, you would have received my information on my paper share. So this year, for the 2021-2022 Stampin' Up! Catalog, I decided to offer 2 different ways you can purchase my designer series paper share. One is 6x12 samples, because I know some people would rather have a larger piece of the pretty paper, and then also the standard 6x6 samples like a lot of demonstrators do. So I am featuring
All of these papers here, Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, Expressions in Ink, which is a specialty paper, Hand Penned, In Good Taste, which is a carryover from last year, In the Wild, Pansy Petals, Simply Elegant, which is a specialty, Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas, which is a 6x6, and including 24 sheets of that one, and You're a Peach. So my paper share, the ordering window is April 28th to May 3rd. So if you want to get on board with that, you'll need to sign up by May 3rd, because on May 4th, when the annual catalog goes live, I'm going to be ordering all the paper I need for my paper shares. So many of you have already taken part of it. I appreciate that and appreciate your business, but I know there's a few more of you out there that would like to get on board with this. So I anticipate shipping on May 29th. I have it all packaged in cello bags with labels so you know what is what. And then the options are the 6x12 samples and the Tidings of Christmas, $89, which and then the 6x6 samples, $54. So those prices do include shipping from my home to your home. And I do ship by USPS, which is priority shipping, and a tracking number would also be emailed to you. So how do you register for my paper share? You can go to my website, inspiredbygram.com. That's after my grandmother. And it's the first little blog entry there. So you'll see that it's right at the top. And you can just click on that and it gives you all the information and a sign up as well. So that is that. And then something really, really exciting coming up is the Join Plus, which is from Stampin' Up. So annual catalog goes live on May 4th. So between May 4th and May 31st, you can join my team and purchase a starter kit for $99 US and receive $155 worth of free of products. So that's $56 worth of free products. So, and it includes all your business supplies, free shipping, and it's for a limited time only. So only May 4th to the 31st. During celebration, I was able to add 8 members to my team. 3 of them have already met their quick start. 3 of them have they have promoted from bronze to bronze elite. So very proud of my team. We're mostly all hobby stampers. There's a couple that do want to start teaching classes and try to make it more of a business. So that's what I've been kind of doing. I do work full time. I just happen to have today off because I've got some things I need to do, but normally I'd be at work at this time or driving to work. But I do have a great team. We're the Inspired Daisies. So if you're interested in joining my team, I would wait until May 4th because that's when you can get that really, really awesome deal, $99, and you get $155 in your order. And then the next order that you place, you get your 20% discount. So super, super awesome deal. I was really excited during celebration to add a bunch of members to my team. So we're from all over the United States, which makes it really fun. Now for my current host code, my last infomercial, and then we'll get started on the cards, is a package of these champagne rhinestones, which are carrying over to the new catalog on May 4th. And my host code is PUYTQ4FC, and you can place your orders at inspiredbygram.com. So that is all the infomercials for you guys. And a little quick look and see. All right, so no comments really. All right, so I'm glad you had a friend to go with. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to, what I do is I focus on the cards and I try to look at comments later. So again, I'm going to be making 3 of these cards. These 2 here we made in class Wednesday, and it was also part of my card kit class, Thinking of You sympathy card class that just closed out and shipped. It's shipping today. And then this is the one I made last night. I wanted to make something a little bit different using the Butterfly Brilliance stamp there. And I just think it makes such a really nice background and thought it looked really nice with kind of a sympathy card design. So that's what we'll be making the last card. So I'm going to start with this one here. And then we'll go to this one, which is kind of simple. And then the last one, Old Olive kind of theme. So the ribbon I've got here is the tri-colored ribbon. That is sold out. So I'm going to, I don't really have a purple ribbon because we were very limited in what we could order from the annual catalog on the pre-buy. So I am going to use on my cards some retired ribbon, but it works really nice. This was, I think, from Celebration last year. So it's some sheer, it looks like Highland Heather ribbon. So that color, I've got that on my wall. So I grabbed it and, you know, use what you want to do when you make cards. For this one here, what I did was I brought this card, well, this card design we did on Wednesday, but I brought a bunch of ribbon from my stash, and what I like to do is I bring my grandmother's ribbon too to my card classes because we do like to use her ribbon as well. So this one here is really old, but it kind of looked really nice with it brought out the pinks in that. So use what you have in your craft room. That's what I do. All right, so the stamp sets we're going to be using are two that are retiring, Woven Heirlooms, which I really, really love the fonts on here. And then here's a card. And then Butterfly Brilliance will be on the last card. And this is a new stamp set that we were able to order ahead of time, and now customers can order this one too. And it's in the annual catalog. So speaking of the annual catalog, if you do not or are not working with a demonstrator, or you're not a demonstrator currently, I would be happy to send you a catalog in the mail. Just send me an email at inspiredbygraham@gmail.com, and I'll get one in the mail probably Monday. I don't know if I can do that with my almost 2-year-old grandson in our house all weekend, so we shall see. The ink colors are going to be Old Olive, Rococo Rose, which is retiring, and then Highland Heather. So those are the three. Now, we're going to make this card here, and this one here's a card on the inside here, just a really simple card design with a nice little sentiment on the top. So here's my little card kit here. Two of the punches, one is carrying over and the other one is retiring. So I don't, it's packed away, the one that's retiring, and I can't remember what it was. But the Label Me Lovely punch is carrying over. So I'm happy to hear that. All right, so here's all of the pieces here. Make sure I get that last one out. It's our sentiment. Okay, so what I have here is a Highland Heather card base, which is cut 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2, and I'm just using my bone folder to burnish it so that the card base will lay somewhat flat for us. And then I also have a basic white 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for the inside. I've got a piece of Gorgeous Grape, which will go right on the front here. This is cut 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4, Gorgeous Grape. And then with a Hydrangea Hill paper here, it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay, so that would be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 there. So since I've got these two here, let's get this adhered down. This is the opposite side here, or a nice print of Rococo Rose, and a little bit of hint of the rich raspberry. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. And we're gonna, as you notice, I added my silicone craft sheet on the bottom there. I like to use it because one, it protects our work surface, and two, it helps me start the Stampin' Seal, because a lot of times, if you're not holding this right, and I have a tendency to hold it down and not upright, this will not start. So what I do is I have my paper or my seal off the edge, and then by moving it this way and starting on the silicone craft sheet, it starts it for me. So I will show that to you again when I add the Hydrangea Hill paper on. So that is what we've got together here. You're going to need to put 5 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back side of this panel here. So I'm just going to peel them off my sheet here, and this one's going to be off-centered. Okay, so we've got that prepped. I'm going to turn it around. Now I'm going to take that retired sheer ribbon right here. Again, I think this was from Celebration. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it around the back side. I know people think it's a waste, but it's easier for me that way. So I'm going to actually peel off the dimensional backings here. And then I'll pile those up off camera there so you don't see them. They're everywhere in my house. Okay, so we're going to add this to the back side. Let's bring in our card base here. And we're going to layer it right down on the top. So adding the dimensionals gives it a little bit some dimension there. So then I'm going to take that bolt of ribbon, I'm going to move it over to the left side, and then I'm going to shorten up this ribbon here so I don't have too much waste. I'm just going to tie a knot bow. So how you do that, if you don't know, is you're just going to turn, tie it around, hold it in place. I use my middle finger there because it's easy. I did use a little too much ribbon, but I'll try to do a little bit better next time. So now I'm gripping my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm pulling with my left. So that gives us a nice little flat knot bow on the top. So now I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to just trim this down, make a little dainty knot bow there. So then you can kind of slide it up in place. I want it kind of halfway on that card panel. Okay, now I want to also move it over to the left side. All right, so that's kind of getting some nice little layering going on. I'm going to stamp next just because I want that ink to dry. I've got my sentiment label there, and I also have my inside panel, which is stamped here. Simply, I'm here if you need me. Then the envelope, I've got a medium basic white envelope from Stampin' Up. I love their envelopes. I'm using Highland Heather ink. And I'm using a sentiment from Here's a Card. And I'm just going to ink this right up and stamp right down in the middle. You can tell I re-inked my ink pads because this is a little bit darker than my example for you. And then I'm just going to ink the inside message, and we'll call it good with that. Now, for the envelope design in the woven heirlooms, there's 2 little images here, which I really like to use in the class. So it doesn't really matter which one you use. And actually, I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp it right underneath that little message. Yeah, that looks really pretty, actually. We didn't do that on the sample card, but let me just bring it back in here. That's kind of a plain one. I'm going to add this right here. There. That looks really pretty, don't you think? All right, so just little stamps like that can really change the way your design looks. So I'm going to take that same image and I'm going to stamp my envelope 3 times. So 2 times along the bottom and then 1 side along the left side, just to give it a little bit of character. You could stamp all the way over too if you wanted to. I'll show you what it looks like. And I don't have scrap paper on my work surface, so I don't want to, actually I've got some right here. Let me just pull some line paper in here, and then I'm just going to stamp off to the edge there. So you can kind of do that. You can also go up along the side here and kind of just do all that. You can stamp your flap as well. We can just put one right here. So you can do a lot with little stamps like this. I always encourage my customers and my team members to stamp their envelopes. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to find that, oh, we'll adhere this one here. Somewhere I have my little Label Me Lovely label. It's probably right in front of me, but you know, oh, I see it. Okay, and I guess what I did, I totally forgot to put the designer series paper underneath that, but we can fix that, not a problem. So you guys are probably wondering why I didn't do that, but well, it's a little too early in the morning. I think I need a little bit more coffee. All right, so I just added some adhesive to the inside panel here, and we're going to add this right to the inside of your card, so it looks just like that. I do have a strip of the Hydrangea Hill paper. It's the striped pattern here, and I'm going to just add that right to the inside of that card so that we can have a little bit more character on the inside too. Plus the theme of the card from the outside in is carried through. So just adding a small strip of the designer series paper really coordinates nicely with these two as well. So that's a good suggestion for you as well. I'm going to add this designer series paper that I totally forgot to do, but we can still do that, not a problem. All right, so this does have somewhat of a pattern, and I can tell that the leaves on the hydrangeas are going the correct way. I'm just going to slide this underneath here, so see how easy that was? If you forget to do a step like that, a lot of times you can fix it. So I just slid it underneath that ribbon, and I called it good. All right, so that was just a 3x4 piece of the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. Now let's take this label here and the sentiment label. I'm just going to add a strip of that adhesive to the back side. I'm going to layer this right on top. Okay, so that makes a nice little team of labels. We'll flip that over and we're going to add some dimensionals to give it some height. So I'm only going to add 2 because that's really all you need, and we'll just peel those backings off. And then let's bring in our card here, and we will adhere this right in the middle of that 3x4 hydrangea piece of paper there. The final thing I would like to do is I would like to add some of those pastel pearls. These are also carrying over to the annual catalog, which is really nice. I love that. And I will use my Take Your Pick tool, which is my little tool that helps me with these embellishments. I'm going to take the Highland Heather color and add those right to that label, and I think that's nice. I think that's nice enough, and we are done with this card here. So let's bring in the envelope, and here is our design we made, and here's the one that I had as a sample in my class with a tricolor purple ribbon, which unfortunately is no longer available. It is sold out. All right, so there is that design. We're going to move to the next one, which my sample uses Old Olive card base. That was part of my class in the mail, but in my in-person class we used Rococo Rose. So that's what we'll be using today. So I've got all my pieces together here. Okay, so again, we're going to be using that Label Me Lovely punch. I've got Rococo Rose here, which is retiring. That's an in color. Every 2 years, the in colors, they come and go. So this one is sadly going, but the new in colors that we're getting, and I think if you watched my YouTube live last week, are just so pretty. All right, so now this is a piece of the Hydrangea Hill, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to adhere that right to the card base itself. So we'll just grab some of that, run some of that adhesive over. So you notice I don't go along the sides because the seal is so sticky and strong. You don't really need to do that, and save on your adhesive because it does cost us money. So anywhere we can save our money is beneficial. All right, so that is all we had to do there. You could simply stamp this area here and call it good, but I'm gonna wrap some of that ribbon around just to jazz it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna create another knot bow here. So again, this ribbon is retired. It's Celebration, but I don't really have any left that I could use. Like the tricolor or even Gorgeous Grape. It was all used for my class. That was Wednesday, so we're just making do with what we have. So I'm just trimming that knot bow right down. Now I'm gonna slide it into place the last. So I don't really care about this right now because we'll fix it. We can stamp our sentiment onto the label here. I'm using Rococo Rose ink, which again is retiring. I'm using a sentiment from Here's a Card. And I'm just going to stamp right down in the middle of that label. Okay, and then the inside, I kind of forgot what I did on the inside here, so let's just take a look at it. Oh, I used the Woven Heirlooms, Thinking of You, and I added that little image too, so we can do that. The Thinking of You, actually, I think is in my box. Let's see, just bear with me because I have everything over here on the floor. If not, here it is. I do need to clean it though. Looks like it did not get cleaned. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Scrub real quick. This is our stamp cleaner. Love this. I've had it for like, I don't know, 9 years or so. Okay, so the Thinking of You is a really nice font. It's cursive. So we're just going to add that right there. And then we'll take that other image that's kind of swirly. I'm going to actually add that right up there, just off to the side. And then we'll take it and we will just stamp it one single little flower petal in the lower left corner of your envelope would be just fine. Okay, so let's move this ink out of the way. We don't want to ruin our stamping. All right, so we are adding the adhesive to the top, and we'll add this inside panel to the card base. Now we're going to work with the label here. So these two are exactly the same size. So to get that nice little border, we're going to take this label. We're going to use my paper snips to cut it in half. So we're just going to cut it right in half, just like this. Okay, so now we have two pieces. We'll flip over the sentiment label and we will add our adhesive to the back side. Then I'm going to take this here. I'm lining up the sides right here and right there. And now I've got about, a 1/4 inch overlapping. And now I'm going to do the same thing, line up the sides. And there is our nice little shadow effect with that Label Me Lovely punch. So now all we really need to do is add our dimensionals to the back side. You could put this flat down, but I would recommend some dimensionals. And I know it might look overkill, but I'm gonna add 4 to balance it out. And then we'll just peel these right off. And then we're just gonna add this sentiment wherever we wanna put it. I'm gonna just kind of offset it a little bit to the right because we have that bow over there, which will kind of slide in place. Then we'll add some of those pearls. So I think what I want to do is just kind of figure out where I want this. So you could put it down here, or you could kind of put it anywhere you want. I think I actually like it down on the lower part over the hydrangea there that's purple. So that's where I'm going to place it. You could actually add a glue dot underneath that knot to keep it, you know, secured. So I'll just do that to show you how to do that. I use my take your pick tool, the pointy side, and my glue dots, and I'm gonna lift that up, slide that in, push down on the knot, and then release. And now this is going to stay in place. So that'll keep it from sliding around. The final touch is I'm going to bring in some of those pearls again, pastel pearls. I'm going to use the pink ones. And we're just going to add 3. And put one over here. And then, oops, missed it. Let me see. This is kind of, I'm going to put one way down over here. All right, so there you go. That's card number 2 for you. Really pretty card. Using the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. Now don't forget, this is going to be retiring at the end of the mini catalog, so make sure you get it while you can. All right, so our final card is going to be using the Woven Heirlooms, Butterfly Brilliance, and we're going to use that really large stamp. So let me kind of clean up my area a little bit so I can bring in that stamp. I have it mounted on an F block. Okay, so I've got that all ready. This is one of our largest blocks that we have. It's called the Clear Block F, as in Frank. All right, so what you'll need to do is, let's grab everything we have here. And this is going to be tone on tone. So I have a piece of old olive, which is cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And what I'm going to do is, you're going to need some scrap paper for this. So I've got some right here. I'm using old olive ink, so we get the tone on tone color. I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp, which is a very large stamp. Make sure you get all the way to the edges. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take that old olive panel, we're going to lay it right on top of the stamp itself. Then to transfer the ink onto the cardstock, I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, lay it on top, and now I'm just going to rub all over. So I'm transferring that ink right to the paper. So you can see on this side, you can see where the ink did not touch the paper, and that way it kind of protected my hands. And then if we peel this off, we'll get this really nice stamped image, tone on tone, old olive ink to old olive cardstock. So that's how I created my background. Now it's just a matter of kind of assembling. We're going to do a little bit of stamping too. I use the Stitch So Sweetly dies to cut those out. And then I have another one just in case I don't stamp very well. And then I've got my basic white panel in my envelope as well. So let's get the prayers and heartfelt sympathy are with you and your family. I'm going to ink this up with old olive ink. Okay, really pretty stamp set. if you do not have this one, I would highly recommend it before it is gone forever. I did kind of stamp that a little crooked, so since I have another die, I'm going to just try to get this a little bit straighter for you and see how we go. All right, that's much better, so I'm going to go with that one. This one I'm just going to set aside. Now we're going to take that Thinking of You. I need to clean it. Don't want to contaminate my ink pads, so let me just quickly clean that one, and I'm going to clean that other little one too. I'll take this panel, a basic white, again, old olive ink, and then you could also stamp Thinking of You onto your envelope. And then you can take that nice little flower and just add that right there. And that would make a nice little kind of stamping effect as well. Last thing we need to do is assemble our card and we'll be all set. So I've got Old Olive cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, and I've pre-scored it at 4 1/4. I'll just burnish it down with my bone folder. Then I'm going to take this panel that we've already stamped using Butterfly Brilliance. Got my silicone craft sheet and then my seal. So I'm starting off the edge of the paper and then I'm rolling it. That way it started that adhesive. And then we've got some nice lines of adhesive there. We'll add this right to the card base. Again, that was cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now I've got a piece of the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. This was cut, let me measure it, 2.5 by 4. And then the Highland Heather is just an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So we'll take this panel and adhere it. This is directional because you can tell the stems there. So just 1/8 of an inch bigger. Now we're going to add some adhesive here. And if you notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, I've got one of those vellum square doilies under here. So I prepped my panel with some adhesive. Now I keep mine in these little storage cases from Stampin' Up. I just need one of these. What I'm gonna do is there's all these little vellum pieces that come out. There is a right and wrong side. The smooth side is the right side and the rough side is the wrong side. So I'm gonna cut this in half. I'll save this one for another card. Put that back in my case. These make really nice storing solutions, and I add the name of, so the square vellum doilies and the item number, which is 152485. And I use my label maker to do that. So now that I've prepped the back side and got all those little pieces of vellum from the doily on there, it doesn't matter, we won't see them. Got the adhesive here. I'm going to turn this around, and this is why a silicone craft sheet works really nice because nothing's going to stick to it. Now I'm going to add this panel over top of the doily just so it has a nice little accent. I'm going to rub this area here because that's where the adhesive is. So now it is stuck on there. We're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to give it some dimension and height. So we'll need, I would say, you probably want to use 5. Just so that the middle doesn't buckle there. All right, so let's add this right to the card front. Let me just peel those right off. And let's bring in our card right here. This is going to get adhered right in the center. And by center, I'm meaning I'm keeping, this is part of this whole piece. So I'm layering this right on the center of the card there. So I have about the same distance from the doily to the edge as on the right side. Okay, now we'll take this die cut sentiment piece. Again, this is from Stitch So Sweetly dies, and they are carrying over, which is awesome. And this is just going to get centered right on the front of that panel. Let's take our inside panel, and I've got another strip of the Hydrangea Hill, which we're going to add on the bottom there. And then one line of adhesive strip. And we'll add this right here. And I've got a hint of the white showing through. I could make this card all day long because it's really fun to make. I'm using lots of different products, but it goes really quickly. Okay, so we've got our vellum and we've got our tone on tone, and then we've got a hint of purple with Highland Heather and the Hydrangea Hill and the white stitched so sweetly, plus the green ink there, which is Old Olive. Now the final step is we're going to add some of those basic, or these pastel pearls, just to the top and bottom of the die, right up in that little half circle area. Okay, so that is our final card for today. All right, we're going to recap, so you can kind of, if you came on late, you will be able to see what we made in the beginning. You also can watch the replay too. So here is this one here. And again, here's the inside of this card. And then up here, let me grab this one. Here's the Rococo Rose version. Okay, and then this one here, which uses Highland Heather and some gorgeous grape. And this one is a top fold card here. So those are your 3 cards for today. Also, just to recap, let's see, what do I want to recap? I want to recap my Champagne Rhinestones order. So the month of April is my current host code, which is PUYTQ4FC, which you can always find on my website on the left side, inspiredbygraham.com. I always put my host codes there and what you'll be receiving if your order is a certain value. And for this month, it's $30 and above. And then lastly, or not lastly, the Join Plus program, which is starting May 4th. Anyone that joins Stampin' Up! Can take part in this. So what it is you can purchase a starter kit for $99 and receive $155 worth of products. So if you need help putting together a starter kit, that is so much fun for me to do for you guys. So you can get all the information at for this program. It does start May 4th. I do not have this on my blog yet, but I'll get to it at some point this weekend. And plus, I will also email it out as well. So make sure you're on my email list. And to do that, you can just head to my website, and the little pop-up little thing comes up. You fill that out, and it gets loaded into my constant contacts. So for $99, if you are spending like $50 on an order, there's no reason why you shouldn't buy the starter kit and make that $50 order part of your starter kit. You don't have, like, for hobbyists or what have you, if you just want to save and you purchase pretty, often, you should join by just purchasing the starter kit and just be a hobbyist and enjoy the 20% savings, because there's no reason why you should be paying full retail when you can just join and enjoy the benefits of just being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, a hobby demonstrator. So again, that's $99 and you receive $155. I do have 9 members on my team from all over the United States, and it's really a lot of fun. I enjoyed meeting my new ladies during celebration. I had 8 new members join my team, which was really awesome. They're all YouTube followers. So maybe you're out there listening to me right now and you're interested in joining. Just let me know and I can help you put together your starter kit. And then lastly, don't forget about my Designer Series Paper Share offering. I'm offering 2 different ways, a 6x12 and a 6x6 sampler. And there's lots of different Designer Series paper that's included, plus the free gift of Pattern Party Sampler, which is really awesome this year. how do you register and get more information, you can just simply go to my website, inspiredbygraham.com, and all the information is there off to the side and on the middle to the first blog as you arrive. So you guys have a great day. I know I'm going to, and I'm ending right on time, which my goal was to end at 8:45, so it gives me just a half an hour to pack up my stuff and get on the road. So you guys have a great day. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask or follow up in an email. You guys have a great day. Be well, and please wear your mask. Take care.